As an entrepreneur, the purpose of starting a clothing brand is to make something that's iconic and is a staple and is recognizable in your community. Doing it with just graphic design may help you get started and make some money, but how do you transcend into the subconscious mind of your customer? In this example, Fear of God has their Essentials brand, which has minimal branding. There's no need for any incredible graphic design. It's literally just labels with some text, and it demands a $100 price point. You see the same label they applied onto their hoodie, they could put into a sweatpants, into other products, and it instantly becomes recognizable to their audience. Creating a clothing brand is more than just making graphic designs, guys. It's about connecting to your customer. And in this video, we're gonna show you how to elevate your brand with clothing labels. And the best part about this is that you can easily do this. So whether you wanna take it on and do it yourself or work with a print partner like Applique who can do this all for you, we're gonna be showing you guys everything you need to know before you get started. And if you're a new viewer to this channel, our mission is to empower brands and creatives like yourself to realize that you have everything you need to start and grow a business from the ground up. In previous videos, we dive into details associated with manufacturing, design, and so much more. So consider subscribing and let's jump into these details. Now, one of the most common questions we get on this channel is, can I rip out the wholesale tag from different companies and replace it with my own? And the short answer to that is yes and no. Yes, in the sake that you could easily rip out this tag, but no in the sense that you should be getting into the practice of replacing this tag with your own tag, because it's actually federally mandated for you to let your customers know what it is that they're wearing and what it is that they're purchasing. Because there was recently a lawsuit that the government brought onto a brand, and they literally got them for a couple $1 million because they weren't labeling their products correctly. They were ripping these out and replacing them with made in America, but they were actually made in China. When you do this, you have to replace it to where it actually came from, because you can get caught up and lose a lot of money to the government. And remember, guys, Google's watching you watch me, so if you look at this right now and you go do it, they're gonna know. They're always gonna know. If you are gonna rip out labels, you have to get into the practice of replacing them. Now, this is why wholesale blanks like Bella Canvas, they make it really easy for you to do this. Watch, check this out. I can actually just rip the brand off. Boom. Now I ripped the brand tag off, so the tag isn't on there anymore. So if you guys wanted to just, technically, if you want to just ship it out like that, you could, and then you can add your own. You can add your own branded label on top of it, or if you want to rip all this off together, now there's no brand on the inside, and you can replace it with your own tags. And we frequently mention Bella Canvas on this channel because they make it super easy for you to use their blanks, these wholesale blanks. You can rip off the tags that easy, and now you could fully label and brand your product using their blanks, right? And they actually manufacture these blanks throughout North America. We're actually going to be linking a video right here that we did with them in case you haven't watched that video. But they get super creative and they bring the best and newest styles to market for you guys. You're able to rebuy this product at a wholesale prices. So if you register and create your wholesale account, you could buy that. Or they actually just launched a new maker account that you're going to be able to register through and actually purchase at pretty good prices directly from them. Because again, guys, they come out with the best colorways in the market. They always really expand on their color selection as well as the different fabric types. Make sure you check out the links right in the description down below to learn a little bit more from them and check out the newest styles on their website. And if you want to actually just print your products on demand, I encourage you to check out Applique's labeling option. And the reason for that is because they can actually make them for you and they'll sew them on for you onto every order that you create on your e-commerce store. So the way that they work is you just pre-purchase 100 labels. They're $1 each, so $100 for 100 labels. And then once you design your product on the e-commerce store, you could tell Applique, hey, I want my label on the hoodie here, or I want my label on the sleeve, or I want it on the patch, or I want it on a hat. They actually sew it and they ship it with your order. So they could do printing, embroidery, labeling, all in-house. And I want to show you guys how that works right now. So with print on demand, how this works is a customer will order the design that you have on your website. From that design, you have a blank that you associated to it, as well as art files that required certain labeling instructions. But it all begins with the graphic design being printed onto the, in this example, the hoodie. So we got the man, Aaron.
Hey, John.
Aaron is probably the champ of this series. You guys have probably seen him in a lot of different videos. So,
Too kind.
dude, thank you for always helping, coming through, and like we really push. We're like, yo, you got to move this to the front, bro. We got to get this done. Once the order gets printed, it goes into this dryer, and in the dryer it cures the final art. So when it drops on the other side of this, it goes into the next process, which is the labeling. So let's go check that out. Now, whether you're ordering the labels yourself and shipping them into Applique, or whether you're ordering them through Applique, they're gonna get stored in their facility. So come check this out, guys. As you can see, like, these are all the different brands that are actually storing their labels. And the best part about it is you no longer have to commit to putting these labels on a blank. The team here will actually find your registration, they'll find your label. In this example, this brand is made by a woman, right? So now this product is gonna be labeled. It's gonna be labeled on the sweater, and it's also gonna be coming in as a hat. So let me show you guys how that's done. So in this example, we're using a beanie, and it's a certain manufacturer's beanie. So what she just did is she just printed this label. So now by printing this label, it has all the information that you're gonna need as a brand. It's gonna be able to be folded and then sewn right inside. So this whole thing is gonna look like it comes from your company, right? So this is the inside. Private labels can be used on the inside of beanies as well as inside of hoodies or shirts. So this is an option that comes on demand, which is pretty cool. So now, se lo voy a dejar a usted a hacer lo que va a hacer, porque yo no sé lo que estoy haciendo. So now that we have the print done, we got the beanie sourced, the labels acquired, it's gonna go into the sewing part of this. And this is where the real magic happens of your clothing designs transforming into a clothing brand. Now that the garments are handed over, it goes into the labeling. And this is where the private labeling as well as your branded labels are actually put on the garment. They still need to open up the inside of the seam to put your tag in place. And then once that's completed, they'll actually take your branded labels and put it in the areas that it needs to. So like, check this out. This is your brand's label replacing the wholesale blanks label. So doing this type of labeling on your sweater is what really elevates your brand, and the customer knows that it's actually coming from you. And now we got, oh, tiene adhesive. Well, that's cool, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. Adhesive backing on the label helps put it on there and not move it. Oh.
Quedó muy bien.
Muy bonito. Muchas gracias, señor. So there you go, guys. Making one product at a time. From DTG to embroidery to fully labeling it with your brand. This is really what elevates it from just a simple product. And another thing to keep in mind is when it comes to making beanies, right? Labels are normally associated with beanies, but when it comes to the profit margins availability with using labels over embroidery, it's crazy different, right? Because all you gotta do is pay for the blank of the beanie, add a label, which can be as low as $1, and you literally have a product that you could sell for $25 plus. So the margins on this is incredibly stupid crazy, right? Stupid crazy. Really think about how you can keep your branding simple, because labels are thread, right? These are actually made thread by thread. So it's not something that's just an image or a taco truck. Let's take it back to the studio. See how simple that was in the overall outlook? Literally DTG and a label all in one place. And now the power of fully labeling and branding your brand is available for you watching. So whether you want to sew it yourself or if you don't want to sew anything, then you could focus on creating the product designs and marketing to sell to your audience by using a platform like Applique, where they make everything one by one for your brand. There's fully branded labels, things like this, that are going to help really bring your logo and your brand to the forefront. And then there's information care labels, right? You open up their product, it tells you the size of the actual garment, the percentage of cotton or polyester, and then where it's made, as well as any registration numbers for importation, and how you should wash this. At the very minimum, as a brand owner, you need to really be thinking about how can you elevate your brand by using labels such as these. You should be thinking about making labels as a way to cross-brand all of your products in a collection. Okay, so the reason that I got this Fear of God hoodie, I got it for you guys actually, because I usually like to support people in this community and I like to buy their products, but I felt that Fear of God really knocked it out the park with the label that they have here. It's literally an iconic label. And if we take a look at it, it's nothing that special, guys. You guys can literally make this yourself. You can make something like it yourself. But obviously they put some details in here where here it's this is like a PVC type of label, and it's actually embossed. It has an embossed design, meaning that it's raised lettering here. Really simple, really clean. When you're wearing it and it's like just resting on its back here, what you'll see is they designed it so anybody that's walking behind the person will be able to see the brand. They're probably going to be using it on a bunch of different products, and if you guys know which products they're using it in, comment down below. Now, if we're looking at the inside of this one is really interesting because what they did is, obviously they have the Essentials branding right here, which is just like a flock design here, as well as on the back. So the Essentials hoodie on the inside, that will actually show the size, as well as where it's made. And then they also have this label, which is like a woven label, but it's actually embossed as well. So they did a really good, this nice little touch, really makes this simple sweater. Without this touch here, and if it was just a print, it would be okay. But now you add these little details here on the top of the hoodie, and then you add some flock here, which to the general public, it's like, whoa, this is so nice feeling. But you could literally do this from home, guys. And you could design it yourself and make something just like it and be able to charge 70, 80 bucks for a hoodie on a blank that you can grab from Bella Canvas. Think about using labels as a way to increase your brand's perceived value. But when you go to this level of detail, guys, and you're actually designing your own labels, it really changes the game for you because now customers aren't just seeing you as a startup brand. They're really seeing you as an established brand. But in reality, you just started it right after watching this video. Now, the common dimensions that you have is anywhere between 1 to 2 inches, meaning it's either going to be a 1x1 or it'll be a 2x1, right? These are really common placements because this 1x1 can be sewn on beanies, it could be sewn on the hoodie, it could be sewn on a shirt. There's a lot of different placement options that you get with 1x1s. So 1x1 option is really simple. It could really be applied on multiple products, really straightforward. But then you also have the options of doing folded labels. And these folded labels, which I'll show you guys here, are also about, I want to say they're about 2.5 inches. Yep, 2.5 inches, right? So you create a 2.5 inch design, but when you sew it, it's going to be a little bit over an inch and a quarter. And when it's actually folded, this fits really nicely on whether it's like hoodie on the inside of a hoodie. So now instead of the hoodie just having a blank thing on the front, it's actually got it on both sides. So you can put it on hoodies, you can attach it to sleeves. So these folded labels are great for all kinds of different applications. You could also attach it to hats. And this little label here is very low cost, but again, it increases the perceived value. So when you start sourcing from really good wholesale suppliers, you add a label and then you add a print, fully elevates your entire brand and marketing. Woven labels are the most common labels. They're the soft ones, they feel good. You can put them in different areas. It's not scratchy or bulky. When it comes to clothing labels, whether you're doing something like specialized like Fear of God did, or whether you're doing woven labels like the majority of brands do, your artwork has to be crisp, meaning it can't be so complicated because look, check this out. Boom, the back is really fabric. It's actually being stitched. This is actually being like put together like a piece of material, like a piece of cloth. So you can see the little details here. So you can't do a full picture of your dog on it, but you could do a vector version of your dog and clean them up, make them more simple, super simple vector art. Like a good friend of ours, JP, says, if you can't hand draw your logo, it's not a good logo. And it won't be a good logo to put on a brand label either. Keep it vector, keep it simple, so it's easily recognizable and it can be made by the manufacturer. So now that you know what you can expect and the limitations of labels, you may be wondering, okay, where can I place my order and get them? Now, one of the most reliable suppliers, if you're getting started and you have a lot of questions about labels, I direct you to cruiselabel.com. And if you mention From the Ground Up, they actually ship out a sample pack for free. They'll actually throw in free shipping for you guys. Cruise Label is a great resource because they really customize anything that you have in mind. So whether you want to make something like Fear of God did here, or whether you want to make something simple and straightforward, Cruise Label is an incredible resource for you guys to check out. There's also options on Google, guys. If you look up clothing labels for sale, you're gonna find all kinds of suppliers. A lot of times they'll allow you to upload your artwork and they essentially show you a mock-up of it, and it'll get shipped directly from a different country. What you need to know is you really need to know what it is that you want. Because if you order something thinking it's what you need, but you never actually received anything from that, there may be a big disconnect. So even though you might be saving some money, you might be losing money on the back end, because you're gonna have to order multiple versions of it before you get exactly what you need. And that's the main difference between working with a supplier like Cruise Label. But again, guys, there's all kinds of options out there. I invite you to go check around and really look for a supplier that you can start doing business with and building a relationship with. Because in this business, it's all about building relationships with suppliers. If you jump around from supplier to supplier, no one will ever be willing to truly work with you as you scale up, right? But if you create a couple of key relationships and you give them business over time, they'll want to sample for free for you. They'll want to create new products for you. They'll help you become innovative in your market, right? It's all about building relationships with suppliers. And if you're building a brand and want some support through the process, I personally invite you to join the FTGU app, where we help you learn it, make it, and sell it. And all of it is available for a low monthly fee, and we're there to support you in more detail throughout your entire process. And best of all, you have access to special offers, giveaways, and even a chance to pitch your brand and win cash prizes. It's been a blast working with entrepreneurs just like you over the last several weeks. So if you're ready to take action, check out the links down below to get started. And if you're currently building a brand and looking into sales and marketing of it, I encourage you to check out this video here, where we show you the shockwave influencing method that you can use for your brand to help it go viral. We'll see you guys on the next one.